So this is a demonstration video for UtiliPad Field Editor, or UtiliPad FE for short. So first, what is UtiliPad FE? Well, essentially, UtiliPad FE is going to be a collaboration between Tri-Global Technologies and Revis Code. And what we were doing is taking three different pieces of software and kind of combining them together to produce a full product that we refer to as UtiliPad FE. And those products are RC Map Engine / Map Viewer, UtiliPad, and a very specific configuration and enhanced feature set, and a third part that's brand new, which is a multi-speak integrator for UtiliPad. And the purpose was to solve this dilemma. How do we take a windmill model into the field for editing? Well, conventionally you could do one of several different options. You could modify the windmill map directly and then have to carry those changes over to windmill, which is dangerous. You could implement a staking solution, or you could use some sort of paper staking or non-spatial method. All of these options had dilemmas. They were cost prohibitive for some users, and they don't ensure your windmill model integrity is the most important thing. So several years ago we started utilizing UtiliPad to collect data to modify this windmill model directly. After all, UtiliPad's used by hundreds of users. It's very proven data collection software, and we can import background files, or what I call a flat file. However, the problem is that a flat file inside of UtiliPad has to be taken from some sort of GIS format, which meant taking your windmill model, converting it to some sort of interchange format, then pushing it to us. And how do you keep that updated? Well, the answer is now RC Map Engine. RC Map Engine is a brand new map publishing engine from Revis Code that will allow you to take a windmill model directly, publish it nightly out to a web engine. You can have your similar icons to what you were used to inside windmill. You can have multiple different layers. You can directly translate partners maps or windmill model itself, which is the purpose of this presentation, as well as other layers such as weather and things like that. So that gave you the ability to take a model like this that we're looking at right in windmill, and without having to do a conversion to like a shape file or some other flat file, you can take it, publish it out to that web browser. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to kind of zoom in on this model to a segment right here on the end. And the reason I want to zoom into this segment is if we get in there close enough, you'll notice that we have a transformer bank and then consumer running off of it. So if we look at the transformer bank, we have some ACSR and some a C-phase transformer bank right there. Okay. So the next step is we want to open up UtiliPad, and as we said, conventionally we could take a flat shape file and put it in the background, but that's not very useful because it doesn't stay updated and it can't really support the complex relational data that you have in a windmill model, such as the elements and assemblies and map points and the relationship between those. So here we are inside UtiliPad. We have our nice Google map. It's very fast, it's disconnected, it caches those maps. It, like I said, used by a number of users. But what you'll notice here is that we have a brand new icon that we put down here and a brand new enhanced feature. And what that icon does is directly open that RC map viewer inside UtiliPad. So you can see that we're actually viewing that exact same windmill model that I showed you just a second ago inside windmill, and we can get zoomed in on it here. And as we zoom in, the various different layers are thresholded to start drawing as you get in closer. And if we get in close enough, you're going to notice that color-coded C-phase transformer bank down there and the consumer coming off it. And we can identify the features, and it tells us there's a transformer bank and there's overhead line and there's some assemblies on there. So we have all of that information, all that relational windmill map data right there at our fingertips inside UtiliPad. And one other button that we've put in here in this beta version is the copy button. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy that consumer down there as well as the transformer bank map point and copy it into UtiliPad. So we viewed the windmill.ed live, and we copied map points, elements, and assemblies into our UtiliPad job. And this is exactly what it looks like once you click over and copy it into the job. You now see the data over that nice Google map. And if you click on the units, you can see we have all of our pole information, all of our assembly information, and more importantly, all of our element information, the transformer bank and the overhead line. If we go ahead and click on any of those items, it'll give us more detailed information, such as that assembly. Or if we come down here and click on one of those elements, we can get some even more advanced information about the elements. So here you can see we have a detailed tab over here, and if we click on the detailed tab, there's that 10 kVA information that we have on each one of the A, B, and C points of the transformer bank assembly that we copied out of the windmill model. If you recall, I clicked on that inside the windmill model to kind of be able to show you that. It just copies right out, and you have all that detailed information at your fingertips. So the next thing we're going to do, we're actually going to modify a feature. Now, normally what we could do is click on it and edit, as you'll see here. And by editing, we have a little move button at the bottom of the screen. Now, that would normally be great for moving a feature, but however, this demo set is in California and I'm over in Georgia doing this demonstration, so a move's not going to work real well. So instead, we're going to go into the assemblies, and we're going to click on each assembly, and we're going to remove it on the action. Instead of doing a full move of this point, instead we're just going to remove and retire all of these features that are on this consumer down here. And it doesn't matter if it's a map point, an element, or an assembly, they all have the action where they can be removed, transferred, new, or existing. And we're going to change the status, like I said, from existing to remove on each one. Takes a couple seconds to complete them all, and now you can see they all say remove under the status. So now that we've removed that, the next thing we're going to do is add a brand new point. And normally we would do this by clicking the GPS collection button. I'm actually going to kind of digitize something down here below this building over here on the east. And then we're going to click on it and add some units and spans. And you can see from this drop-down list, we have a full list of all your different map point types, all your different element types, all your different assemblies that are configured for your windmill model. So in this case, we're putting on an overhead conductor, and I'm going to give it a name, and we're going to set a phase. We're going to call it C phase. And here's a very important part. We're going to choose the parent element. The reason this is so important is, what if you had a scenario like this where you have 2 points and they have a overhead element conductor and a secondary element which are parenting in different directions? Well, with a conventional method, we have no way of modeling that very complex node. However, with this new feature set, we have the ability to parent any element to any other element, giving us the capability to do all sorts of very cool things. We feel like that's a really powerful feature that's going to differentiate this from anything that you've used in UtiliPad before. And not only are we going to add that element, but we're going to go in here and we're going to add a new assembly. And you can see you can have a filter tree just like you might have been used to inside a staking software like Partner. And we're going to add the pole with its related 40-4 assembly. And we can go back in and keep its relational, so we can keep adding as much information as we want. And we're going to come over here into the assemblies as well and add A11 rather, sorry. Okay, so now we've added that conductor, a pole, and an assembly. So to complete this, what we're going to do is simply hit upload. It uploads to data orbit. Okay, so at this point we would go back into Windmill, and we're going to talk about the third piece, which is the multi-speak integrator for UtiliPad. It's a little tool here that you can see right here, and you put in your credentials and connect to your account, and it's going to show you all the jobs that I've collected on that UtiliPad account. We're going to pick the one that we just did, which we called example, and we're going to click export to multi-speak. You notice that there's another button to post to multi-speak. In this case, we're just doing one multi-speak job, so we're just going to export a job at a time, but you have the ability to obviously get more complicated with the configuration if you chose to. And what we're going to do is we're going to import that multi-speak job directly into Windmill. Again, not Windmill map, not a staker, directly into Windmill. We're going to hit browse and just browse to that little multi-speak XML file we exported. Hit finish here. We do have a couple of errors. We're just going to ignore those errors right now. And there is our job applied inside Windmill, live to the Windmill model. Now, I say live, but the cool thing is, and let me just click over here, you can see there's that name that we gave it in UtiliPad. There's the overhead conductor. There's the pole information. There's the assemblies we put on. So everything carries over into Windmill seamlessly. But the important thing, what I was trying to get at, was that it is part of the project model. So you can now turn your project on and off, see your original Windmill model, and then see what happens to the Windmill model when you apply this project to make sure that the project isn't going to have problems. And that completes the demonstration of UtiliPad Field Editor. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact Tri Global at any time. Thank you very much.